So moving on to our next topic. So before we even started, we had a bunch of actual topics that we had in mind to talk about. We kind of went off on a tangent right at the beginning. But that's okay. That's how these podcasts work. So we just came back from lunch, and we just had this idea of when we eat, there's a lot of kind of manners that we kind of do culturally, but we don't really think about it. So, for example, we kind of wanted to discuss how there's different meanings for different things based on your culture. So, for example, I'm Chinese. So if you go to a Chinese restaurant or you're eating with maybe Chinese friends and you're using chopsticks, you're not supposed to kind of stick your chopsticks, kind of like stab them vertically into like your rice and have your chopsticks kind of stick up vertically. And the reason is that typically this kind of vertical chopstick looks very similar to funerals where they would kind of burn incense. So incense is these kind of long sticks that you would kind of put vertically at a gravesite or near a gravesite, and you'd burn the incense as part of kind of the ritual. And then so having chopsticks in that put in that situation in a meal kind of looks like a funeral, so you don't want to do that. So that's kind of one thing we don't do culturally. Is there other stuff? Is that similar in Japanese culture?
Vertical chopstick?
Vertical chopsticks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly same.
Is it an incense funeral thing? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I think so. And another chopstick manner is I can pass my food to you through the chopstick. So no chopstick to chopstick?
Yeah, so let's say you want to pass a dumpling to me. So you're holding the dumpling in your chopsticks, and then you want to pass it to me. And I am not supposed to kind of use my chopsticks to grab that dumpling and then put it on my plate.
So I have to drop on the plate first. Or just like push into your mouth or whatever.
Push in my mouth. I don't think I'd appreciate that if I was like...
Oh, guys should appreciate those acts.
Well, if it's forced, maybe not. Why is that? So that might exist in Chinese culture. I am Chinese, but I don't know all about the funeral culture stuff. So I haven't heard about that one.
Remember, but I think how my mom was saying, and actually I did experience with my relative funeral. So because my culture and probably Chinese too, like we burn body.
You cremate the body?
Cremate the body.
Okay.
And then, so after cremate, we only see the bones, right? So, and we have small pot, kotutsubo. That's like the case, stretch that we keep the bones.
Okay, so that would be, I think in English, that would be like an urn.
Urn?
Urn, yeah.
And then we keep that urn at the grave.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what do you do with the chopsticks in passing?
So let's say like all the relative families, members, that's how I experience around the body, right? I mean bone. And then the one person pick up the bone. It's like kind of like bigger chopstick.
Like a long chopstick.
Because it's like so hot.
Yeah.
And long one. And grab it and pass to the next person. And pass to the next person. So it's actually chopsticks.
So each person is holding their own set of chopsticks, and then they kind of pass these bones along with their chopsticks. Yeah, own
set of chopstick, but it's belong to the funeral company. It's not mine.
Okay.
And so that's from those actions. So I think we shouldn't do anything that reminds us about those like funerals, like dead persons or anything.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think that there is one more that I forgot because I was talking. There's one more thing that we shouldn't do. but I forgot. Keep talking. I'm
Another food-related thing that reminds us of funerals?
Yeah.
That's okay. Maybe it'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll come back to you eventually. But there's other stuff related to food that generally we don't do. Maybe once she remembers the other stuff. But I think this is a kind of a common thing, is at least in North America, it's considered rude to make slurping sounds when we eat, like kind of stuff like that.
Noodle.
Well, yeah, sure, with noodles would probably be a common one. Or, chewing with your mouth open, that's not considered very proper in North America.
In Japan too.
Okay. But it seems like slurping is okay with noodles in Japan.
Yeah, only noodle.
Only noodles it's okay to slurp. Okay.
Only reason I know, I'm not sure if it's correct, but the sound, if you hear, right, and that's the sound saying it's tasty.
Okay.
So people don't think that's like dirty sound.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like, it's kind of cool, nice sound. That food is really tasty.
Yeah.
People eat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think so. That's all.
Mm.
Do you find that it's uncomfortable when
Hearing slurping? With noodles or any kind of food?
noodle? I think.
It doesn't really bother me, like slurping sounds. I can understand maybe if you're trying to have a good time with your friends and just like it be relatively kind of quiet environment, then it could be annoying to hear something loud, for sure. But I mean, I don't find it too rude. I find chewing with someone's mouth open is more annoying than slurping sounds, to be honest, because I don't want to see like someone's half-chewed food. It's kind of gross.
Half-chewed food.
Yeah. If they're, eating with their mouth open, you can see like the food in their mouth, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you for listening to this clip of the podcast. To hear the full version or extra podcast, please consider joining Patreon too. Yeah, that's all for today. Bye bye.